These pigs are also called dwarf or mini pigs. Such small animals have recently been used for laboratory research, especially in medicine. In addition, it has recently become fashionable to keep rare animals at home. This fate was not spared by these animals, so mini pigs are kept by some people as a rare, original and exotic pet. History of appearance. Mini pigs. Dwarf pigs were bred in Germany about half a century ago. To get such an animal, experts crossed small wild boars, as well as Vietnamese pot-bellied pigs. At the moment, it is too early to talk about generally accepted breed standards, since they simply do not exist. At the same time, some specialists in some countries are working to breed a breed of even smaller size, under the conditional name micro pigs. Description. The color of the coat of these unique animals can be very diverse, therefore there are individuals, both black, red, sand, marble, and brindle, as well as mixed shades. The animal is actively growing for the first, maximum 2 years of life, after which it is able to simply gain excess weight if it is not limited in food. Adult miniature pigs can gain weight from 30 to 80 kilograms, while micro pigs weigh 10 to 30 kilograms. Basically, the weight and height of a pig depends on the diet and food quality, as well as the application of the diet. In other words, the owner himself will have to control the height and weight of the pet. Interesting to know. There are times when adults weigh no more than 10 kilograms. Unfortunately, this phenomenon has nothing to do with the breed characteristics of the animal. In this regard, it should be noted that such cases do not occur very often. Life expectancy. Dwarf pigs live no longer than 15 years, but provided that all the rules of keeping are observed, preventive veterinary examinations are carried out, timely vaccinations are carried out, and feeding is carried out only with high-quality feed. Despite this, there are mini pigs and centenarians who have managed to live for more than 20 years. Mini pig breeds. At first glance, this pet does not require special conditions of keeping, but this is not at all the case, and first of all, you should pay attention to the mini pig breed. Today, there are several main breeds of such animals that can be kept at home. For example, the Bergstresser Nert breed was bred from some Chinese breeds. Adults weigh between 10 and 15 kilograms, with males being larger than females. The breed is very popular among Europeans, thanks to the cheerful and kind nature of the animal. The mini pig becomes devoted to its owner. The mini Malino breed was bred quite recently and is considered the smallest variety. The weight of adults is not more than 10 kilograms, regardless of gender. The main color of the pet is black or black and white. The breed of these pigs is distinguished by the presence of intelligence, so it learns quickly and easily. At the same time, they have a very friendly character, but with a lack of upbringing, they can show how wayward and vindictive they are. Mini pig Wiesenau is characterized as a medium-sized variety, while it is distinguished by an almost square body shape, as well as the absence of skin folds on the face. Naturally, this breed requires a relatively large living space, therefore it is not recommended for keeping in an apartment. Adults gain weight up to 30 kilograms. The advantage of the breed is that it gets used to going to the toilet in the same place all the time. Göttingen mini pigs are the closest relatives of Vietnamese pigs, but at the same time they differ in originality. Although the pig is considered a dwarf, its weight can reach 100 kilograms, while the breed has a pronounced rounded tummy. The peculiarity of this breed is that they are incredibly gluttonous, since they cannot control the amount of food eaten. Siberian miniature or dwarf also belongs to the medium variety. The weight of adult pigs can reach about 50 kilograms. This breed does not have a rounded tummy, but it has rather slender and long legs. In addition, the presence of subcutaneous fat, along with the structural features of the skin, helps this animal to tolerate low temperature conditions. Not so long ago, our fellow citizens preferred Vietnamese pot-bellied pigs, although a significant weight, up to 100 kilograms, made these pigs inconvenient for keeping in an apartment. Maintenance and care at home. Household conditions for a miniature pig should be the same as for animals such as cats or dogs. The main condition is the absence of restrictions on movement. Based on research by several scientists, the intelligence level of any pig matches that of a 4-year-old child. Is that the pig can't talk. Behavior and lifestyle. It is believed that mini pigs are quite intelligent pets and can be easily taught to perform various commands. These animals quickly get used to the toilet and do not emit any unpleasant odors from them. Young animals love to play, and at the same time they are very curious. Their disadvantage is that they quickly gain weight if the correct diet is not taken care of in time. In addition, it is necessary to provide the animal with physical activity. After the animal gets into new conditions of existence, it is necessary to give it time to adapt. Raising a pet is a difficult task, so it will take a lot of time and patience. You should not do this right away, on the second day, since an unaccustomed animal is unlikely to do what is necessary as education. The same applies to other events. Care and hygiene. In any case, a pet, regardless of whether it is a dog, a cat or a pig, must be provided with a personal place. The most suitable option is a separate room, but in the conditions of an apartment it is almost impossible, since every square meter of living space counts. Small ornamental pigs are considered very clean animals, so it is easy to train them to relieve themselves in a specially designated area. Any breed of decorative pigs loves water procedures, so you can bathe them quite often. Despite the fact that pigs do not shed and they do not emit unpleasant odors, these animals get a lot of pleasure from water procedures. An interesting moment. As a toilet, you will have to use a fairly large tray, but without filler, since the animal will immediately scatter it throughout the living space and will simply eat some of it. If a bathtub is used for this purpose, then it is better to lay a rubber mat on its bottom. After bathing, so that the pig's skin does not dry out excessively, it is treated with a special lotion or oil. Somewhere 4 times a year, after bathing the decorative pig, she should carefully trim her hooves. Walking a mini pig. Pigs do not mind taking sunbathing and also prefer to lead a fairly active lifestyle. In this regard, the owner is obliged to provide the animal with almost everyday walks. Exceptions are days with inappropriate weather. It is very important that the animal burns as many calories as possible daily. Interesting to know. Experts recommend that you first carry out a full range of vaccinations and only then plan walks with your pet. In addition, the animal must fully adapt to the new habitat. After 2 months of life, the animal should be accustomed to wearing a collar with a leash to facilitate the process of walking. It is very important that the animal walks not only on the ground but also on the asphalt. This will allow the hooves to wear naturally. An important point. The advantage of domestic miniature pigs is that they are quite active and highly social pets. Therefore, it is not recommended to leave them for a long time themselves, as they begin to get bored and can fall into a prolonged depression. Prices for ornamental pigs. To have a decorative pig at home, you will have to spend money on it, since it will cost at least $300. Moreover, prices depend on the breed of dwarf pig and their size. At the same time, an inversely proportional relationship is observed. The smaller the breed, the more expensive it is. In this regard, it should be noted that pigs that belong to the category of micro pigs are by far the most expensive. Conclusion. Dwarf pigs have some physiological differences compared to ordinary pigs. They have a completely different skull structure, and instead of 4 pairs of nipples, only 3 pairs. Because of these features, dwarf pigs were classified as a separate genus of pigs. In addition, dwarf pigs also differ in color character. Their main color is brown ash. In natural conditions, dwarf pigs can be found in Bhutan, Nepal, the Himalayas, as well as northwestern Assam. In this regard, it can be easily assumed that these animals are quite thermophilic, although they are able to tolerate lower temperatures. Living in natural conditions, these animals are nocturnal, preferring not to be seen by people in the daytime. These are social animals, so in nature they live in herds, which are controlled by leaders. Leaders are males and, as a rule, are the strongest and most enduring, and also fearless. If you try to get closer to the herd, then the male will immediately rush into the attack, without hesitation and not paying attention to the fact that the opponent is somewhat large. He does it suddenly, issuing a very loud pig squeal. This is enough for the uninvited guest to understand that pygmy pigs are not as easy prey as it seems. Suddenness and loud screeching are the main weapons of these amazing animals. Dwarf pigs living in nature are considered an endangered species, therefore, they are listed in the International Red Book. In this regard, it should be noted that in our time to meet these animals in nature is a great success.